Can we meet you?
I'm AnuOluwapo Adelakun. I'm a Nigerian.
Okay.
I'm from Abeokuta in Lagos State, but I was born and bred in Lagos, Nigeria. I grew up in somewhere where people might call a ghetto, but I think growing up in that environment really shaped me, into who I am today because of the kind of experiences that I had, and then the kind of resolutions I made even as a growing child, and the kind of things I wanted to do, who I wanted to be. So I'm a women and girls' rights advocate. I'm also a journalist. I'm a storyteller. I think that I started writing as a result of not having anybody to talk to when I was, having a lot of issues growing up as a child. And yeah, here we are today, just trying to change different things about perspectives, African perspectives, national perspectives, trying to give women and girls opportunities in rural communities. So that's basically.
All right, thank you very much. Very, very inspiring. I like the writing part, really, because some people use maybe watching movies or something else entirely, something that they feel is fun to escape from the issues in life. But writing is really, really good. That is so cool. Can you shed more light on your foundation? Okay, that's Girl Unlimited Foundation.
Okay, so Girl Unlimited actually officially started in 2015, and the first thing we did was to say, okay, we want to focus on women and girls' rights in Nigeria, especially for women and girls in rural communities in Nigeria. I think that when a lot of government projects, a lot of NGO projects, are going on, they reach out to people, in suffering communities, but there are some people in more rural communities that are missing out, that need this opportunity. So those are the people that we decided to focus on in Girl Unlimited. So we I on behalf of Girl Unlimited joined Dr. Joe Odumaki in 2015, early 2015, to sign a petition. At that time, we were signing a petition for the Senate to pass the Violence Against Women's Bill into law. That took a while and eventually became Violence Against Persons Act when it was passed into law, simply because in Nigeria, when you come with a bill that focuses on women, the men kick it out. Take, for instance, last year, the Gender Equality Bill, but I'll come to that. Then we also decided to mentor young girls in secondary schools, especially. A lot of us discovered that we had the same experience of not really knowing what we wanted to study. I'm a very multi-talented person, and I felt lost for a very large part of my teenage life, because I was like, I can write, I can dance, I can sing, I can talk. There's so many things that I could do, and I was wondering, how will I bring all of this together and channel it into a particular profession, or a particular career. So we decided that we were going to start mentoring young girls to be able to tailor their talents, their strengths, their weaknesses into careers that they might not take. And then of course, because we realized that in the times that we are in, it's not just enough to have a profession or career. You need to have skills, soft skills, and a lot of people lack soft skills really in our society. Common sense things that you think people should know that they don't know. And because as women, a lot is expected from us to be able to handle the home, handle your career, handle your spiritual life and all. So we also decided to add that into the curriculum, and we started doing that. We started doing career profiling tests in secondary schools, especially for girls. Sometimes you go into the school and say, what about the boys? You people don't care about the boys. I know we're really focused on the girls, but at times when we can't help it, we do just some charitable work for the boys so that they don't feel left out, and yes, then aside that, we also I've mentioned the humanitarian aspects, the career aspect, and then the human rights advocacy. Yes, so personally, I use my own journalism career to write, to advocate for women and girls' rights. So that's like a summary of what we do.
All right, thank you very much.
The future is really bright for Girl Unlimited. There are a lot of issues affecting girls and women in Nigeria and in Africa at large. And while we're not trying to save the whole world, we're going to do our best to reach more rural communities, more girls, more women, hopefully take part in policy making. That's the most important thing, because I find that when we go into these communities, it's like the people in the House of Senate are lawmakers. They are not hearing what these people are saying. So the issues they are facing, they are very different from the policies that are being formulated for them. So we really hope, especially in the area of policy formulation and making sure that the policies that are formulated are actually executed, like people actually follow them.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that we want to involve ourselves in the next few years.
The future is indeed bright. It's bright. Let me say well done. I'm expecting so much more. But how do you think that other women in Africa can actually key into your program, what you do for girls in Nigeria?
Okay. I'm always very excited when ladies from across Africa reach out to me.
Okay.
So we have a volunteer in Zimbabwe, for instance, that replicates the kind of our projects, but on a smaller scale though, because I'm mentoring her. Girl Unlimited is mentoring her to also start up something like that. I always tell them, you don't have to start Girl Unlimited where you are. You can start your own thing. It doesn't have to. I know that a lot of NGOs enforce it on people like that. If we tell you what we are doing, the secret of our trade, you must start our own branch there. You don't have to. The important thing is to have the passion. Is that what you want to do? That's what you want to change. We'll mentor you, and then we'll make sure you do it. So I'm always happy when people reach out to me from different countries. I have friends from Indonesia, from Syria, from Egypt that are also doing stuff like this, and we usually meet together, strategize together, because we realize that we can't do it alone. And another thing is, the funding would usually not go beyond what you have put in the scope. A lot of funding would usually not cover for the whole of Africa. It would be for where you are. It's exactly where you are, the communities where you are. And I just tell you to reach out to them that way. So yeah, I'm using this platform to tell them, reach out to me, please. I'll give you the link.
No problem. All right, thank you very much.
Amen.
Please list them.
But I'll tailor them down to, first of all, funding.
I was expecting to hear that.
Money.
Oh.
Yes, because money is really the messenger of everything that we do. If you don't have money, you can't make an impact, sadly. That's the truth. So I've had colleagues who run their own NGOs based on a social entrepreneurship structure. So they run a business and use the business to fund the NGO.
Okay.
There are people that do that. And then, of course, we write proposals upon proposals upon proposals, seeking for grants, for funding from bigger NGOs and people, individuals that like to help. So we have issues of funding. So if you can't get it that way, you can't sustain the work that you do, then you can't make a consistent impact the way you want. That's the first one. The second one is the enabling environment to actually pursue the cause for which you are fighting. So take for instance, what country would I use? Okay, let me just use Nigeria. In Nigeria, where they kicked out the gender equality bill, for instance, that has as one of its provisions that women can own land, property, which is against a lot of cultures in Nigeria. You find out that you can't go into a community where that thrives, that custom is thriving, and be preaching to them that but women are, they are equal to men. They can, if you can own land, they can own land. They will kick you out. I've had instances where NGOs ran into trouble because they were trying to reach out to communities that are already again. They'll say what you are bringing is not African. Don't come and bring Western culture to us. Take for instance the use of contraceptives. Would you believe that in this Nigeria there are men that actually still believe that you are my property. I paid your bride price. So therefore, I can sleep with you anytime I want, and you must have as many children as you can till menopause. That's not right.
Of course.
It's not right. Women should have, should be able to exercise their own reproductive rights. Take for instance, when I want to get pregnant, I should be able to get pregnant when I want to. I should have access to contraceptives if I don't want to get pregnant. So a lot of men will get up after having sex with their wives and say, you know how to take care of yourself. They won't support them. So that enabling environment is not there, especially if you're pursuing a course when it comes to women and children. There are some communities that will tell you, we cannot send our daughters to school. Who will go and fetch water? Who will go and sell in the market? Who will go and bring fire? There are still communities like that in Nigeria. So those are, the two major challenges that I see that most NGOs face.
All right, thank you very much. But I think that the challenges you've listed, they're not just limited to Nigeria.
Yes,
I think
yes,
it's an African thing. Actually, it is an
Yeah.
African thing.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I know that there are a lot of Africans, young Africans, that want to do stuff like you're doing, like own an NGO. What word of advice will you give to such young, talented Africans?
I'm very happy you're asking me this question because as I speak to you today, on the 22nd of June 2017, today is
23rd.
23rd, okay. Today, 23rd of June, my NGO has just started the process of getting registered.
Okay.
And for a lot of people, they think, if I'm not registered, I can't do anything. The truth is, there are some opportunities that you will miss if you're not registered.
Okay.
Do you understand? However, it doesn't mean that you cannot start doing something. I always tell my volunteers, people that work with me, that look at how far we've come without even being registered. See all the things we've done without even being registered. Imagine how much more we can do when we are registered. And if we had not believed in ourselves and pushed ourselves to do what we've done so far without the registration and all the official brouhaha without all of this, and we've been able to come this year, then guess how much you can do. So my advice to people, you have a passion, as long as the passion is solving a problem, adding to the development of humanity, start from where you are. Stop waiting for the big break until I have some millions in my account. When I started thinking of others, I gave birth to Get Unlimited. I was in my first year in university. I knew how much my allowance was, but I went ahead anyway. And when you start, people will join you, because when you're doing something good, from experience, I've come to realize that good will always attract good. You will always attract people. There'll be people that will not have money, but that want to volunteer with you. Allow them come in. There'll be some people that have the money but don't want to volunteer with you. Say, I don't want my face to show, but I can give you the money. But just start. Like Mark Zuckerberg said in one of his, I think it was a remark he gave at Harvard recently. He said, get started. And I agree with him. Do it afraid. Start from where you are. Even if it's just 2 people you reach out to. That's someone's life that you're changing. You can't value, it's priceless. When you change someone's life, you can't quantify it. And also don't have that mentality of, so what am I going to get if I do this? Are they going to pay me? But a lot of people ask me, hey, you did this, how much did they pay you? I didn't get paid. You mean you did it for free? People can't believe it. But the truth is that God is a rewarder. He sees everything that you do. If you tell me to tell you how many testimonies I have based on everything that I've been doing, we will not live here today.
Wow.
So many opportunities have come my way, so many things that I've achieved effortlessly, just because I was doing something to make the lives of others better. So start where you are. Don't wait for people to motivate you. People will discourage you. When I finish, they say, you won't go and look for a job. Be doing Mother Teresa of Calcutta up and down. Yeah. People told me that they're not paying you. So how will you survive? Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. If you do 10 people consistently every month, by the end of the year, you have 120 people. Next year, it will come 240. Before you know it, you're making impact. And the thing about doing good is, you don't need to announce yourself. I didn't announce myself before people started gravitating towards me. And then I got someone say, oh yeah, Anu Adelakun. Ah, nice to meet you. I've heard about what you do and stuff like that. So that's my advice to you.
All right, thank you very much. I know that you have over 8 years experience working on issues affecting girls and women in Nigeria. What would you say is the major challenge of girls and women in Nigeria and Africa at large?
Africa has an environment that is not enabling for women and girls to prosper and flourish, to actually become as in all that it is in them to become, to contribute meaningfully towards continental development, towards regional development, towards even the development of their own communities. So you have laws and customs that say they can't go to school. You have communities where it's the poverty that is affecting them. You have communities where girls are out of school not because there are no schools to go to, but because they cannot afford to menstruate. You have communities like that. You have violence against women, even if it's domestic, even if it's maybe the community that just has something against their gender. You have terrorism as well, which is more closer to us here in Nigeria.
Yeah.
A lot of girls are now out of school. Nigeria has the highest number of children that are out of school, and out of that large population, most of them are girls. In some communities, it's even water that affects their women and girls. Take for instance, when there's no water, the hygiene is very poor. You begin to get all sorts of diseases. Children die. Women cannot, take care of themselves. Girls have to go long distances to fetch water before they can go to school. Even if they go to school, that is. In some other communities, they don't allow their women work. There are other communities too where it's early marriage that is their issue. It's just a lot across Africa. Africa as a whole, we have too many things hindering the potentials of women. We're not allowing our women flourish. So I tell myself that the best thing my parents could have ever done for me was to give me a good education. Because when they empowered me, I'm empowering a nation. I'm empowering a continent. Imagine how many more girls can get the kind of opportunities that I got and that can do this kind of thing that I'm doing. The whole world might not know me, but right where I am, I'm making my own change. So Africa as a whole needs to, rethink some of our policies, some of the perspectives that we hold on a lot of issues. So someone is asking me, why is it that we don't have so many women in power? How many women even went to school in those days? When I tell people that my grandmother is a doctor of economics, it's almost like, are you sure? Because in that day and time, women were getting married and having children. That was the highest achievement. But she went to school and she was able to pass. That's the thing. When you educate a woman, she knows the value of education. I will educate my children, of course. And then you just keep eradicating that illiteracy. And as you eradicate it, you empower the girls. They can venture into things. How many women in those days could come out and say, oh, I want to run an NGO? I mean, the best you could do was have children. How many children do you have? Wow, you have made it.
You have both female and male. It's even more exciting.
Exactly. So yes, we need to change our perspectives on a lot of issues. Let's create a more enabling environment for women and girls. Let's help enforce their rights. In Africa, we just go to sign international, documents. We say, oh, we've ratified it into our constitution, but we don't enforce it. Where are the structures to enforce those things that we say we've ratified? So we have that issue across Africa. No country is spared.
We say that Africans are doing enough for their communities.
Africans in general?
Yes, in general.
That's a tricky question though, because of the kind of circle of friends that I have, circle of colleagues that I have from across Africa, are people like me. And they are doing stuff, in their little ways. But the thing is, if you say as a people, not as people that run NGOs, I think that as a people we feel very entitled. Africans generally, I think we feel very entitled, and I don't blame us for feeling entitled. I don't blame us for feeling entitled. If we choose leaders that we say should go to the top and represent us and ensure that everything is working well and ensure that we prosper as a people, and they get there, and instead of doing what we've trusted them to do when we went to vote, they get there and enrich their own pockets. I mean, I don't blame Africans when they come out, and start ranting and feeling entitled. But beyond that, there's a saying that you should think about what you can do for your country and not what your country can do for you. I think that if a lot of us embrace that kind of mentality, like, what can I do? We'll have more people doing this. Not that people are not doing. In fact, a lot of people are doing a lot to develop Africa, to put Africa on the map. I have a cousin who recently became the first African to fly solo around the world. And he wasn't paid to do so. And when he came back, people were asking him, what were you trying to achieve? He just wanted to be in the Guinness Book of Records. But he said that apart from the fact that he's going to be inspiring young children, because he grew up, we all grew up in our family house in Surulere, which was seen as a ghetto, then he grew up there, and then we didn't have the best, richest parents and stuff, and he could still achieve what he achieved. He would love to mentor the young ones. But aside that, if the whole world that has been doing this, he's not the first person to fly solo around the world. Why can't an African think about doing something like that? Because it's just the skin that is different. We all have the same brains, and Albert Einstein says that we don't even use so much of the brain before we die. So why can't we just sit down and innovate together? Africans need to go beyond that level of how that put it now? I'm even getting agitated. Let me just round it off by saying that our leaders are always a reflection of who we are as a people. If we are good people, we will elect good leaders. That's what the truth of the matter. If, for instance, I as a person can keep to traffic rules and not break traffic laws, that's a change I'm making. Trust me, you don't have to stand on a podium and render a motivational speech rather to 1,000 people before you make a change. Right from where you are, do the right things as a person. Make the right moves. Be obedient. Pay your tax. Do you understand? Do the right things right where you are, and you'll be making a change.
Alright, thank you very much. You're one of the 21 Nigerians named by the UN Empower Women as a global champion for change. Can you shed more light on this?
Okay, the United Nations Women has a program called Empower Women.
Okay.
And what Empower Women does is to reach out to people that are doing projects, their own initiatives, that have NGOs that empower women economically. Because we've come to the realization that is when we say empower women, we're not saying give them a gun to shoot somebody. We have to be practical. When you empower a woman economically, she's in a better position to take better decisions for herself. Okay. Because they say poverty has a face, and it's the face of a woman. So the less of poor women we have, the better. The better positions they are to flourish as persons, to help their families, to grow their communities, and to contribute to national development. So United Nations Empower Women made a call. That was sometime last year, towards the end of last year, for people like myself that are doing stuff like that. And I got selected. And during it's called the championship.
Okay.
The period of the project is called the championship. So during the championship, because we were now named Global Champions for Change. That was the title that came with it. Very long title. Really nice too. And during the championship, we were all required to run projects that would directly economically empower women.
Okay.
So what I did, on behalf of Girl Unlimited, was to work in partnership with another NGO called Dreams from the Slum.
Okay.
Dreams from the Slum. They are in Ajeromi Fellowdon, local government of Lagos State, and we reached out to teenage mothers. We discovered a few of them, and we decided to help them, empower them economically, because a lot of them were just sitting at home doing nothing. I remember the day we went around trying to talk to these girls one on one, and you just walk into the cubicles, I would call it, where they stay, and in that room you have like maybe 13 people living there, and there's a baby there. Of course, there's a young girl as well who has had a child, who is seen as, of course, the stigma is there. Like, just have that child and stay there. Don't come out again. There are people that don't even talk to her. Don't associate yourself with her. She got pregnant. At what age? We met someone that was 13 years old that had a 6-month-old baby. Yeah, and she got pregnant as a result of trade by barter, what you call trade by barter. So the young man, about 15 or 16 years old, would bring fish. He's a fisherman. He would bring fish, and then she would sleep with him in exchange for the fish, and then take it home for our family to eat. So of course, it's poverty that led most of them, because they are supposed to be in school at that age. So we asked quite a number of them. Some of them said they want to go back to school. Some of them said, no, I just want to learn a trade and start a business and take care of myself and my child. And then probably when I have enough money, I'll probably go back to evening school, adult education and stuff. So we decided to build a project around that, and besides teaching them different skills, from soap making to makeup to pastry making, tie and dye, gele beading. It was really interesting, and actually, Dreams from the Slum has continued the project, but at the end of the championship, Girl Unlimited pulled out to focus on other projects there, but it's continuing right there.
Well done, good job. Thank you very much for your time so far. But one last word for every young African.
Okay. I don't know if it's the last word. The piece of advice I would usually give is God first, because if you follow the pattern of my story, it started in God. I found my purpose in Him, and when I found my purpose in Him, He gave me passion with which I burn now and until I die concerning these issues, and He's led me to the right opportunities through the right people, allowing me to do the right projects. So God first. In Him you find your purpose, and then your passion, and then don't think about what you're going to get out of this thing. Like we said earlier, the fulfillment you get from it as a person, first of all, is unquantifiable. The kind of impact you make. There are some things that I know that we have done in Girl Unlimited that we'll never be able to understand the gravity until maybe on Judgment Day. When God is calling everybody's action and said, you did that, so God first, find your purpose, pursue your passion consistently. Yeah, you have to be very consistent when you're doing these things too. Believe in yourself. Start from right where you are. People will join you. Don't think you're too small or too irrelevant or too whatever it is that is negative not to do something. What you do matters. Don't think that, they won't see it. Don't be after the fame. Be after your work and the impact that is going to make. And then all of these other things will come after that. I never thought I'll be in front of Motivating Africa Camera, really telling this story. But see how it came as a result of what it is that's good. So keep pushing.
Alright, thank you very much.